FM, KCAA Loma Linda.
To another delicious edition of the Let's Dine Out Show. Food critic Allan Borgen here.
And birthday boy, Allan Borgen.
Just another day.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Are you going to sing happy birthday to me?
No.
I want you to sing happy birthday to me.
Oh,
wait.
No,
There's a little kicker. In Cantonese.
I don't even know how to say that.
Just, no one understands anyway. Just pretend it's happy birthday.
I'm sorry.
Talk about number. Tell me I'm a fat pig. Whatever.
No.
It doesn't, I won't know the difference.
No.
Just pretend it's a happy birthday.
No.
She's such a poop head.
No.
Please.
Nope.
Count to 1 to 10, birthday wise.
Nope.
Can I do anything to bribe you?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, I know what I can bribe you with. Good food? Okay, we're on the right track here. Foie gras. A pound and a half of foie gras.
Only a pound and a half of foie gras.
Well, I saw you put away, a couple of nights ago, you and a friend put away about 5 to 6 pound lobster.
It wasn't all gone.
Well, no, that'll be gone tonight, but you ate pretty good, didn't? Well, you can eat. That's the main thing. So, anyway, okay. Anyway, happy birthday to me. Anyway, it's a fun day today, and birthdays are interesting. A lot of people take them real seriously, and to me, it's just another day, to be honest. But it does make you reflect a little bit. So we'll talk about that. Some interesting things on life. So this is now that
he's getting deep.
I'm a senior now. Well, actually, I've been a senior for a while. I'm a real senior now. So, but anyway, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. You're off for a little bit?
Yeah.
Relax a little bit?
Yep.
Good.
It made me be a bum. You'll see me on the street corner one day, with the little sign.
We'll work for food, but you want to make money, right?
Yeah.
So you can't do both. We'll work for food and money. But then if you work for money, you'll be a hooker. So
no, not
you
for
can't
money.
do that.
No.
Okay, we'll work for food. So anyway, we have a fun show today, and later on we got some products in the mail that we tried, and I thought, oh wow, another plain almond milk and stuff like that. But guess what? I really like this, and not everything I like, but this one is really good. So we'll talk about that later on with somebody from the company who's a team member there and very knowledgeable on it. And before we get started, I just want to thank a couple of our sponsors. One is All Magic Paint and Body. And if you have ever had a problem with your car in terms of getting rear-ended or any kind of accident or anything, they usually send you to one of their body shops, but a lot of them allow you to go to most any of them.
Well, it's legally they're supposed to allow you go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then some insurance just make you feel like you have to go somewhere.
Yeah, but you can go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And one of the best ones is family owned, and it's called All Magic Auto Paint and Body. And again, it's state-of-the-art equipment, tools, and really made to ensure optimum health. And it's a lifetime warranty. That's the one I really like. A lifetime warranty on your car repairs. So
that's pretty good,
You can't beat that.
You don't get hardly anything lifetime warranty anymore.
Yeah, no complaints. And again, they have latest technology and computerized color matching, specialize in frame repair with their modern laser measuring system, and they are OEM certified. I still don't know what OEM means, but I'm sure it's important because not all shops are. All Magic Paint and Body offers rental car assistance, which means you can drop their car off to be fixed, and they'll take you to and arrange for you to get picked up and serviced from a Hertz or Enterprise or whatever. And again, they have different collision centers to go to. One's in Norco, Eastvale, Moreno Valley, and in Fontana. Highly recommend them. The nicest people, very friendly, and they keep getting back to you. Almost every day, they let you know the progress, if there's any hiccups or anything. They work with the insurance companies, all of them, and they do high-end cars too. So it's not just your traditional cars, Ford and Chevy. They do all kinds of other ones too. So it's really amazing. It's allmagicauto.com. That's all ALL magicauto.com. And again, if I like food and you trust me with your food, you're definitely going to trust me with All Magic Auto.
Well, thank you for our second sponsor, which is Ray's Shanghai Bistro. They are just located next to Redlands DMV, not for long on Lugonia.
Yeah, they're going to be moving
Redlands,
probably in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's pretty soon, so keep your ears and eyes peeled.
Beautiful location, much bigger, a lot of parking, and you'll be surprised. It's really a fantastic. It's one of the premier Chinese restaurants in the Inland Empire. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I totally agree. And my favorite dishes are some of the pork soup dumplings, house-made pot stickers, crispy pork spare ribs with garlic. So good, so juicy. And the unique spicy lamb with bamboo, and the sweet, tangy, deep-fried orange peel shrimp,
So good.
and or beef. Either way, sounds so good. And the savory basil spicy shrimp, plus lots of vegetarian dishes such as Alan's favorite.
You know, this is a dish that's so simple, but I've had it so many places, and this is by far one of the best ones. It's called orange hot and sour soup, and what's nice about it, it's got a little kick to it. So it hits you, and then it goes away, but the flavor, and especially on a cold night, it's fantastic. I mean,
What makes it different from other places, you think?
well, it's got the little chili, I think, chili oil or chili paste in there. But all I know is that you taste it. It's a little soury. It's got tofu. It's got some mushrooms in there, but just really, really good. I can't say enough about it.
Cool. Anyways, whether you dine in or
What,
pick
do,
up,
wait, do you like it?
I do, but it's a little bit too spicy. I'm a little
Okay.
wimpy, so anything with any spice, I'm
To me,
literally
it's
cringing.
got character, so.
Yeah. To you, it's great, but to me, I'm like on fire, totally. Anyways, whether you dine in or pick up the food, have them cater your next party or special
So
event.
when I get home, I'm going to have a surprise birthday party waiting for me with about 15 dishes. No.
No, because I don't think you
can't
can
eat.
chew anything.
Well, you can. You can eat a lot.
Yeah, but I don't eat all that food by
Well,
myself.
But we can freeze it, so when I can't eat, I'll have something.
That'll be a couple of months.
Plus, I have no room in
Oh,
the freezer.
okay. Why can Alan not eat? By the way, we'll talk about that a little bit. But Ray's Shanghai Bistro website is raysshanghaibistro.net. It's RUISSHANGHAI Bistro BISTRO.net.
So it's called Ray's, but it's RUIS, apostrophe S. So great. And lastly, if you have any dental problems, this is a dentist that I personally know and love, actually. If one thing about him is, first of all, it's Tobias Maynard DDS. It's located in Redlands, and he specializes in cosmetic, holistic, family dentistry. He explains everything he does to you in a friendly and caring way. And best of all, there's absolutely no pain. Yes, you heard it right, folks. No painless dentistry. That's amazing. Staff are very friendly, and they sell some great products, too, on grounds there. Tobias Maynard Dentistry is located in Redlands at 710 Brookside Avenue, Suite B. Their phone number is 909-792-1775. That's 909-792-1775. For more information, I suggest going to pearlywhitesdds.com. That's Pearly, Pearly, Whites, like in teeth, WHITES with an S, DDS.com. And I can't say enough about him. He also recommended me to a great oral surgery. That's another one if you need. His name is Dr. Gary Chan. He's in Redlands too. Absolutely fantastic and a real foodie. So as he does stuff to your teeth, you can talk food with him, which I did. So
Of course.
but again, it's pearlywhitesdds.com. Not everybody has teeth problems all the time, but when you do, you really want a good dentist. And he's mine, and I really, really like him and highly recommend him to you. So, okay,
Let's talk about why you can't eat. So back to that, he's going to avoid that.
Well,
Did you hear that?
No. For years, I needed some implants. I never wanted to. I just had some partials, and I decided enough is enough. Plus, my partial broke, so I needed it. So I could either stand on the corner, homeless, and make a lot of money, or I could go ahead and get dental implants. So I did. And first, Dr. Tobias tried everything first to see what other options there are. I got two other quotes from other companies, other dentists out there, and they can be really expensive. I think the highest one I got was $22,000. This was about half the price. And excellent, a clean office, Dr. Chan, unbelievable, Gary Chan in Redlands, fantastic work. I didn't even feel it. I was twilight happy, so I felt good and just a little pain. I just am more sensitive to hot and cold, and I still can't chew anything a lot on there. But, I mean, overall, I would never really know that I had surgery, major surgery like that. But anyway, that's the reason I can't eat. However, I can have protein drinks, so I can.
Lukewarm protein.
Yeah, it's got to. It's got to be.
Well, happy birthday to have a lukewarm
Well,
protein
tonight's
drink.
a good night for me to take you out for dinner. I'll have water, lukewarm water, and that's it. But I'm fine with that. So. Anyway, with birthdays, a lot of emotions come up, and one thing that comes up to a lot of people is age and looking back at themselves. And I never think of either one, but a while back, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I got kind of fed up with my background social work, and I got fed up with people walking around the earth just miserable. And I decided I got to do something, at least try my end to make them, look at themselves and make some choices. And so I did a DVD, and the DVD is called 5 Easy Steps to a Happy and Healthy Lifestyle. And I did it with a really neat job coach, lifestyle coach. Her name is Deborah Wallace. And anyway, basically it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different categories. And these are the areas that I think are the most important thing. It's not a lot of money. It's not, I'm not a religious person, but if you are, that's fine too. But to me, the most important things from all the years I've been doing social work and working with people and seeing people, one is thinking positive. A lot of people just don't think positive. Everything out of their mouth is negative. I know people like that. I know a couple people like that, and it's really bothersome. I try not to hang around them anymore for that reason. You just don't want to hang around people like that, which we'll get into later. But negativity and just is horrible. And Izzy's shaking her head, so she agrees.
I totally agree.
Okay. Second part is nutrition and healthy eating. I don't care what you do, how you do it, but eating healthy is so important. If you want to become a vegetarian or a vegan, great. If you want to eat meat and everything, do it, but do it right. Do it sensibly. A good diet, you can have a little bit of everything, but eat sensibly. Not too much fat, not too much junk food. And it's hard, but it's important. If you really want to be happy, you've got to ask yourself that. Third thing is relieving stress. There's so many things in life to get stress over. Some things are real. When a doctor tells you got a week to live, yeah, that might be stressful. With all this stuff going on with the world, people can get stressed with that. Mortgage rates, they can stress people out. There's just a million things that can stress people out. But there's a lot of little stuff that stresses people out that is so unnecessary. And the way I think about it is when you're on your deathbed, what are you going to be thinking about? Are you going to be thinking about the little things that most people think about that get upset with? The answer is no. To me, Woody Allen, in a comical sense, had a funny line on his deathbed. He's going to make sure he has a change of underwear, deodorant, and a toothbrush. And that's the way to look at life, is to see that way. But I just hate to see people sweat the little stuff. You hear it all the time, but I actually see it a lot. So that's something I'm not looking just at you, as everybody. Being physically active. This is the one part that I'm terrible at. I don't care if you sit on your table at home or listening to the show and moving your feet, mowing the lawn with earplugs on. I don't care what you do, but move. That's the main thing. If you're just going to get up and around the house, get up for every little thing. Don't let the other person do it for you. That's how I do mine. I try to do it all myself. When you can, sometimes you can't. But eventually we do belong to a gym, and we are definitely going to go soon. That I want to do. Mm-hmm. I get the look, but I really do. And then probably the most important thing of all, there's a lot of ways to make excuses for things not to happen. But probably the most important thing is to empower yourself. Give yourself permission to be happy. A lot of people, they're afraid. And my favorite thing is, what are you afraid of? And they can't give me an answer. A lot of people are afraid of failure. Well, gee whiz. It's a good thing that everyone's not like you who thinks that, because Edison, I forgot 10,000 different experiments or some ridiculous amount. That's the way you learn from that. You learn, you fall down, you get up, you fall down, you get up. It may be more than once, more than twice. There's a lot of luck involved too, but you just have to keep going and give yourself permission to do it. So those are what's on the DVD. So I highly recommend getting it, which you can always get a hold of me. Just look for on Facebook, Allan Borgen, or my Facebook is email is Mr. MR Foodie, FOODIE, the number 1, Mr. Foodie 1 at Outlook.com, and I'll hook you up with a DVD. Important questions to ask yourself. This is something that came out of the DVD that we were doing. myself and Deborah Wallace. And these are a bunch of questions that really make sense. And a lot of it is just thinking for yourself. Don't A lot of people don't listen to other people, but you can argue with anybody, but you can't argue with logic and you can't argue with yourself. So one thing is, have you ever set goals for yourself, and have you ever completed a goal? Some people really believe in setting goals. Some people don't. I'm one that a lot of people do, and that's fine. Whatever works. My thing is, you can try a goal and really aim for a goal, but it doesn't work out. There's so much involved in success. There's luck, there's timing, there's all kinds of stuff. So you want to be happy no matter what. But I think it's important for some people to be focused and play with the lights like air engineers. I feel like I'm having a headache. You okay? You're bored, aren't you? That's why he's walking around the studio like this thing. Oh, God, more crap from Allan. Oh, I hear it all the time. Oh, well. So anyway, setting a goal for yourself. Number 2, are you surrounded by people that are negative and not supportive? Again, I think everyone's in a situation like that. It's hard. You got work, you got friends, you got family. I mean, distant family. You got relatives. You got relatives from the other side of the family. You got all kinds of things, neighbors. Try to stay away from that because negative people.
Just stay away, all people.
Negative people. If you have to, yeah. Become the Unabomber and have a house in
out in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which
Right.
some people do. But no, just try to stay away from as much people as you can. I mean, if you're stuck with them, then do something about it. If you don't like it, then do something about it. A lot of people just put up with it by smiling and But if you can get away from it, get it. Number 3, are you tired of being unhappy? That's a key thing. You really have to look in the mirror when you answer a question because you can't lie to yourself. When you look in the mirror, are you happy? If the answer is yes, then so be it. No problem. Act the way you're doing. Continue life the way it is. But if you're unhappy, why are you unhappy? And I think the first step is seeing that I am unhappy. Why? That's important. The 4th one is, have you taken the time out of the day to exercise and be more active? I think, again, that all goes with what I was talking about before. Very important. It's time for yourself. It's time to be healthy. It's time for others, too, showing them that you care about yourself. That's important. The 5th one, or 6th one, I should say. 5th one, that's right. Bleh. Have you reserved the time for yourself to reflect on your life and relax? Relaxing is very important. You just can't be a type 1A personality and all the time, make fun of what you're doing, have fun with it, and but you have to relax. So I relax by, I like listening to music. That's my relaxation. I listen to music, and usually 99% I wake up the next day, and guess what? It's a new day. So anything that was bothering me, I don't let it bother me unless I can change it. That's my other thing is, if it's worth worrying about, then change it. If you can't change it, then don't worry about it. So, Izzy, I'm asking you, what do you do for relaxation? Do you do relaxation?
I do, actually. I find doing crafts very therapeutic to me.
Jewelry, making jewelry?
Yeah, making anything, actually. It kind of, you have to concentrate on what you're doing, so you can't really, your mind can't wander into, so you have to be present, right? So that's one of the biggest thing is being present, like
Here and now, you mean?
Yeah, here and now, because
Versus La La Land.
No, versus thinking all the things that could happen or just happened or used to happen, that kind of thing. But being present, just being at the moment and really concentrating on what you do. I mean, that's, to me, I remember going to a retreat years ago, and it's they taught us how to meditate, and meditation can be different forms. People think, oh, meditation, you just sit here and try to whatever, but there's something called work meditation. So you concentrate on what you do, be present. So you basically concentrate the hand at task, but not to think about everything else that's outside of that. And that's a form of meditation. So if you're sweeping the floor, concentrate on sweeping the floor. Every stroke, just basically concentrate on that instead. Clear your mind of anything else. And you'll find, and you would do something like that, when you're doing these work or something you're concentrating on, your mind tends to wander. sometimes. So it's not as easy as you think it is. It's really still the same thought process being present.
I see that with you a lot of times. Your mind does wander, but when we all do, I think, not just you, but when you focus on something, you are like laser eyes. You really focus on something. And I learned that from like when I ask you a stupid question that has nothing to do with anything, and you're not going to take your mind off of what you're doing. You just give me that look. And I was like, "Ooh, okay, I know what the look means." But I see that. So it does work with you. Do you bring back the past a lot? Do you relive the past consciously?
No, I think I do try to be present at that moment. However, sometimes things triggers, like people say smell, sounds, all the senses. Sometimes certain things triggers memories. And so, it could be events trigger certain memories or, past events that happen that bring back that memory. That does happen. I think that's human, right?
Yep.
That's just human to have that. But yeah. So you're asking me how I meditate? Well, that's how I de-stress. It's like concentrating on something I enjoy doing.
Also, watching Hallmark Channel, right? I'm not
No,
saying that
actually,
derogatory.
that's like a background sound kind of thing, like the brain dead thing to do.
But isn't that something? And I'm not saying derogatory. I always make fun of it, but it's everything on there is positive. Everything on there is not real. It doesn't take you away from any stress that you may have for that hour or 2 hours or
Well, but
12 hours.
it doesn't have like the conflicts and
Right.
like it doesn't have all the things. Like you turn on a TV and you look at the news, and you're like, okay, there's nothing good happening. There's hardly any good news. So you basically on a daily, every moment being bombarded with negativity around you. So
Right.
just having that, I usually turn it on in the background. Sometimes I'm not paying attention to it. I just don't want to hear the bickering. I don't want to hear people stabbing each other, crashing, the burning, whatever, like mass shooting. I don't want to hear any of that
Right.
because you're not going to have that.
What's worse is when you're with someone who knows everything. That's the other thing that's horrible. People who know something, they love that kind of stuff. It's negativity. It builds upon them. And they know the answers to everything in the world. So anyway, you're listening to the Let's Sign Out show right here on KCAA AM 1050 and Express 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listeners behind. And is he smiling as I'm looking at the sign in front of me?
Finally.
Well,
like
on the other side of you,
every
I see-
time, like you look at the sign behind us and you're like, okay, which
there.
number is it? He's trying to sort it out. And this whole time, there's a black and white sign in front of him.
Well, but I'm looking at you, which is behind
It's
you.
hilarious.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's continue a little bit with the reflection and behind
I
me.
know, right?
And I still get it wrong. So, okay. Do you stress over little, small, insignificant things in life, and why? That's really a question that, as a man, I see more women doing that than men. I'm sure. I know men who stress over every little thing. So it goes both ways. I guess the bottom line is I just can't understand why. Why do they harp upon little stuff that has really no significance in life? When you go to, again, on your deathbed, are you going to think about that at nighttime when you can go to sleep? Are you going to think about a crumb that's on the chair or something that you missed or whatever? And I'm not just looking at you, but I know a lot of people that stress over little things. And why do you think why is it in your brain to do that?
Well, but I think what calms people is very different for each. It's very individual. What could be calming to you, listening to like heavy metal, versus, like for somebody else that doesn't like heavy metal, then it's not calming. I mean, that's like aggravating.
The stressing out over little stuff, that's calming?
Well, but no, it's not the little stuff. It's not stressing over the little stuff. It's the little things that are stressing them out. It's your little things, but to somebody else it might be a big thing. So I mean, you have to kind of step in other people's shoes and see what they're looking at. And obviously you're not, because if you don't step in somebody else's shoe, you can't see why that one thing might,
Sometimes you do that, but sometimes it just doesn't make no sense. You can't, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't think sometimes people do that, but not all the time?
Well, it's so individual. I mean, what stresses one person out, it's not somebody else's stress. I mean, everybody's stress is very different.
Right.
And the threshold of stress is very different. So you kind of generalizing, really.
Yep, I'm good at that. The looks I get, I know. Okay, next, you should ask yourself, do you deserve a better life? That's a really loaded question because most people, you would think if you deserve a better life, you're going to go out and be happy and, try not to do stress and everything. But a lot of people, I think, walk around feeling they don't deserve to be happy. They don't deserve for this stuff. A lot of it is because they've been talked into it from parents, from relatives, from ex-husband or wife or whatever, or people keep telling them all their lives they're not going to amount to anything. They're not good for anything. So I can see that. That can be real heavy duty. But I think that's really essential for at some point in life to be able to look in a mirror and saying, something, I deserve to be happy, and I deserve, and if making changes it means to be happy, I'm willing to do that. I could be wrong. That's me. I'm willing to change most anything. Just to make me line dance. That's the main thing. That's my biggest bugaboo. Mm-hmm. But don't you agree that if you really want something bad, and I think it goes back.
In Allan's perfect world, Allan is perfect.
Oh, I'm far from that. But in terms of if I want something bad enough, I get it done. Obviously, exercising is not on my top 10 million things. But that's pretty much that, and dealing with paperwork are my two biggest things I got to work on. Everything else I think I've done a pretty good job on. But everyone's different. That's the bottom line. And I just wish for those people out there that have issues, get some help one way or the other. If you can't do it yourself, talk to, deal with religion, have friends you can talk to. Go to a psychiatrist. Professional help, I think, is very important. I can't say enough about that. So, another thing to ask yourself is, what's the biggest obstacle preventing you from being happy? A lot of times people look at that and like, I never even thought about that. But I know it happened to me one time in my life, and I did something about it. And, other than that, I usually, as it came across, if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. Or I stay away from it. If it's a person I don't want to be with, I stay away from there. Sometimes, made some real life decisions. Like, again, I did that 3-4 years ago. I started. And but I think it's really important to look at any obstacles that may be preventing your happiness and dealing with it. I think that's important. I mean, what's your feeling on that? That's pretty logical. I mean,
Okay, sounds good.
it's just logical more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't even think about that. They don't want to think about that because it makes them angry, or it brings up some heavy duty stuff. That's why getting professional help is important. 9, I guess, is eating healthy. Is it important to you? Is there anything stopping you from doing that? The answer is probably no. I would say almost exclusively. There's always something out there that you can eat that's a better option than eating fast food or junk food. Especially now, you've got so many options, more than you've ever had before. And it's just a matter of finding it and trying things. A lot of people are just black and white, meat and potatoes. We went on a cruise. There was a gentleman who was very black and white, very anal, I guess, in food-wise, ate the same thing all the time. Saw me and you eating a bunch of different things and like, wow, looks pretty neat. Can we join you? So we invited him to our table, and he was like a regular on us with the cruise everywhere we went. He loved it because we ate 8, 9 different things, almost the whole menu. And he loved that, and now he wants to go with us to Ethiopian food, and it's like, wow, we really change around. But he wanted to do that. I think we just thought, we gave him the opportunity to, but his wife sure loved it. She loved the idea of that. So I think the 10th thing, too, is it time to think about yourself and make the needed changes. At some point, you're going to fall down, you're going to get really hurt, and at that point, is that a good time for you to say, okay, enough is enough. Let me stop this madness, whatever it is. If it's a weight problem, if it's a significant other you're with, if it's a job, it could be anything. I mean, everything that triggers you off. It may not be important to others, but if it's important to you, that's all that matters. And the important thing is how you get it done. It's not how you do it, but that you have to see it, number one. A lot of people are blinded. A lot of people, I'm going to say, are abused. They're so used to hearing it and being in that situation, they think it's normal. So they kind of just stay there. It's just kind of like a lump of charcoal, nothing. They don't move. They're not swimming. They're not dying. They're just kind of floating in water. which is okay for some people. If they want to go through life floating in water, great. It's better than drowning, I think. But I think it's really important to look that thing over and just say, why am I in this position? Is it even possible for me to change or to get out of it? And again, if you need help to talk with people, do it. Whatever it takes to do it, do it. But I hate to see people. I once had a situation when I was a social worker. I placed a client in a hospital, and I was next to the client on the bed, not on the bed, next to the bed, and a woman in the next bed over kept looking at me, and she loved my hair and this and that, and what came out of her was something I've never even thought of, but everything out of her mouth was, I should have, I could, I should have, I could have, I would have, and I didn't. And that night is when I thought about that, and I never thought about that in my life, because I've always been one, either change it or accept it, one or the other, not deal with it and be miserable. So I just wish people would do that. And again, no matter what the issue is, I think if it's worth making you miserable, change it. So be it. That includes eating lousy food, junky food. Try different restaurants. One of which I want to tell you about. What a great segue for our food show. It's called Szechuan Garden. It's in Montclair. Izzy and I, around when was it? Chinese New Year last week, we ate about 4 or 5 different restaurants, and
all Chinese restaurants.
All
different
Chinese restaurant. And one of my favorites that I kind of forgot about because it was kind of a distance away, but well worth it. I mean, definitely want to go back. It's called Szechuan Garden. It's on Montclair, on Central in Montclair. And these people are very, very, very friendly people. When you walk in, it's nice and clean. And the menu is tremendous. A large menu. Prices are outstanding. Portions are beyond belief. I mean, it's enough for more meals than you can ever count on. And the food's is really, really good. It's pretty authentic. And it's dumbed down a little bit, but it's very, very good. And they'll specialize. If you want a chicken instead of pork, they'll do it for you. I mean, they'll go out of their way to make it friendly for you. They opened up their 3rd restaurant now, so they're successful. And again, I highly recommend it. It's called Szechuan Garden. And if you go to the website, it's Szechuan, Szechuan, Garden, MC, which is Montclair, .com. And their phone number is 909-625-81878. It's a large restaurant, so you can come in with, party more than 2 or 4 or 6 even. They have a banquet room in the back. They do a lot of catering and for banquets too. So I know, Izzy, I think I took you there once before. You couldn't remember, I don't think. But you really liked it too. Everything they had there, you liked.
Yeah, it was good. It's really, really good. Normally I'm kind of a little picky about the not so authentic. Well, it's not that they're not so authentic. It's just that there's a lot more westernized tasting dishes. But, I think Szechuan Garden has a good mix, of some stuff that it is traditional and some not. So it gives you a good blend of different choices.
And nothing funky or anything.
No, not at all. And they have a nice vegetarian menu, that give you a lot of options, vegan beef, vegan shrimp, vegan, chicken. So, I mean, if you're a vegan, I mean, that's a lot of options for you to pick from.
Right. If you like spicy too, I mean, they have a lot of things spicy, very spicy, but you can tone it down too.
Mm-hmm.
But for the Inland Empire, that one is one of my favorites. China Point's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Rancho Cucamonga. Ray's for sure is up there. And those are my pretty much my 3 favorite. You went to one in Santa Ana with your friend Jason.
Yeah.
Tell us about that real quick. That was very interesting for me.
Well, years ago,
outsider.
I remember 15, 20 years ago, a girlfriend took me there. And it was just a little hole in the wall, and they had this funky setup when the restaurant's on one side with the kitchen, but then there's an additional sitting area, another, that 2 doors down from the shopping center. So they would bring the food on the outside to bring it in to the other door because it's not connected. But I thought that was just the strangest thing. But then now they actually remodeled, and it's a one big large space. They do make, they have big tanks of freshly flown in lobsters and gooey duck. And
gooey duck is what?
Gooey duck
it's a
is a
gig-
type of clam.
It's a gigantic clam.
Gigantic clam that has a snout that looks the neck of
Looks like an
the
elephant's
clam looks like an elephant's trunk. Yeah.
It's
So
ugly as can be. Ugh.
yeah, it's not a pretty looking thing, but it's actually very good. It's if it's cooked right, it's very tender, and you can make two dishes out of it. So that's one of my favorite things to do to get, and they happen to have it there. So I was so excited. I haven't been there for quite a few years, and my friend wanted to come. He came in from Chicago, so for somebody that travel from the East Coast to come to the West Coast and saying this is one of their favorite Asian restaurants, right? And then his family actually owned a restaurant, Asian restaurant.
Chinese one.
Yeah. So it's says a lot about the restaurant, really. They do make this lobster, the Chinese style lobster. If you don't know how Chinese lobster is done, they basically chop up a lobster with shell and everything on it, and like flash fry it, and then they put it with all the onions, garlic, and ginger and everything. So it's like one big stir fry, and then you can have noodles on the bottom. So it's quite a dish. You do need
And
a
again,
party.
we're talking anywhere from 5 to 6 pounds. These are huge lobsters.
Yeah. I mean, bring your appetite and bring your wallet, but it's absolutely amazing because it's fresh. You see the lobster in the tank 1 minute, and the next he's on your
Smiling
table.
at you, right. Now, they also have crabs, too, a large crab.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a full menu. So if you don't want lobsters or crab, they have other things, too. They have a lot of tons of all your favorite things, kind of Vietnamese, Chinese type food, but really, really good, very authentic. I was the only non-Asian there. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of people there, and that's a good sign.
And they speak English, so
Oh, yeah.
so that's kind of nice because sometimes you go to Asian restaurants, you feel it's very intimidating. I think, because
Now, you're half Asian. Do you you don't get intimidated by that, do you?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they start talking to me in whatever language you're talking to, whatever they speak, and I'm just like deer in the headlights, and they look at me like, okay, and then I ask for a fork. That's like the nail that hits in the coffin right there, because I didn't ask for a pair of chopsticks, but I find the fork a lot more, easier maneuver if I'm personally because I have hand issues.
You're not the ordinary Asian either.
Well, whatever. But yeah, this place is called Tan Cang, Tancang, Newport Seafood. So you don't remember the first two words, which I never do. I just look up Newport Seafood, and it's in Santa Ana. But it's on the edge of Santa Ana, Garden Grove, that whole Westminster. That's got kind of that general
And they have
area.
a couple other ones, don't they?
There's, this one particular one is only Santa Ana, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've been there for a while. So yeah, look them up if you're interested. It's once again, it's called Newport Seafood. They're not the sponsor, and they're quite a hike to get there, but I think it's worth the drive.
But let me just say this: you mentioned something just now. Even if they were a sponsor, this is not everything you like that a sponsor does, especially in a restaurant. Not everything's 100%. So don't think because they're a sponsor, we're going to talk really good things about them. We're very honest. We tell you about our favorites, and that's it. If you ask me what I like or don't order, I'll tell you that we like. So that's important too. We can't be bought off, even with food.
Well, but taste and the preparation or the flavor is very individualized, right? What you think is just right on, it might be too hot, too spicy, too sweet, too salty for me. So I mean, to each person, the ideal plate or ideal dish or entree is very different.
Right.
So.
We also went to a non-Chinese restaurant, but we loved it. One of my favorites, an Ethiopian restaurant. It's called Awaze, Awaze. It's in Artesia, and which is unbelievable. If you've never been there, it's definitely worth a day to drive through and just kind of nibble on everything there between Persian, Indian, Filipino. It's got pretty much every ethnicity there. I mean, it's just reeking with Korean.
You name it. And it's just really interesting area. Because
people are very friendly, very nice.
Artesia is kind of like the little India. That is a little India, but it's not all Indian food. There's a lot, and there's a lot of Indian restaurants and sweets and bakery and that kind of thing. There's also a lot of other ethnicities that have their restaurants in that area. So if you want to try some international food and explore new things, that would be a good outing, I think.
We've never done it, but I really believe one day we should go and just drive and, go to one restaurant, order like one thing or two things. We'll do some homework so we see which restaurant has the best things. But wouldn't it be fun just grazing the whole day? We've done
that before.
Yeah, but I think...
it started like at noon all the way to 2 a.m. and was like 5 restaurants. At the end of the evening, Mr. Borgen here still suggested to have another stop at Cantor's. And I thought...
I've never been to Cantor's. So I thought,
I've been to Cantor's, but
the other
my friend hasn't. Yeah. So anyway, it's just one of those things. It's, like... Yeah, he. I think ideally he will be in the great... tour guide for food? Like foodie tour kind of thing.
But instead of having 4 or 5 restaurants, I would do a whole day tour.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you'll look like a Weight Watchers meeting, but I'll be on there too. So, anyway, other than that, I'm trying to think of other things coming up and everything. Any holidays coming up?
Well,
Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, Valentine's Day is coming up, and it seems like all the stores are bombarded with Valentine's items. Very festive everywhere, red and pink and everywhere. I love the colors, so to me, I think it's kind of festive.
Being a woman, is Valentine's important to you?
It's okay.
Does it bore you when flowers and candy are the 2 main things you get?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, throughout the year, shouldn't you get flowers? Shouldn't you get things like...
Well, as a woman, I don't wait for somebody to buy me flowers, so whatever. And I'm not a big chocolate person or candy, so that really doesn't float my boat. So I think it's a day to remind people of all the people they love. Not necessarily just a mate. It could be the family member. It could be somebody that your grandmother, your childhood teacher. It's just a day, I think, to remind people to express their love to somebody. Give them a chance to do that. So that's all I think it is.
And to me, every day should be Thanksgiving. And every day should be Christmas. And every day should be Valentine's Day. I'm kind of anti having just one holiday on one day. If you love somebody, show it throughout the year.
I think people just life kind of catches on and you get into a rut, just working. You forget about other things. So these things kind of remind people, hey, take a break, take a deep breath, and maybe show your appreciation.
So those with bad memories, that's what a holiday is for?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I just think it's people don't... Priorities in life. If you love somebody, tell them you love it. So speaking of love... a product came to me not too long ago, samples of different products for Izzy and I. And I'll be honest, when I first saw it or heard about it, I was like, oh, God, more of the same products that I love anyway, but, it's just another brand. And I thought, how different can this be? And, how can a company just come on board again with the same thing? Which kind of amazes me how, look, there's 15,000 items of the same thing. But this one really, really made a difference for me. I was like, wow, this is
What
really
makes it different?
Well, let's talk about with a person who's on the team there who helps with it. And her name is Sasha Baronsky, and she's from RMD Advertising, and she's a team member of something called New Barn Organics. And how you doing, Sasha?
Hey, Alan, I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, real good. Izzy, you probably heard what you're waiting, mentioned that we had it, and I just really liked it. From the first time I had it, I was like, wow, this is really good. And let's talk about it a little bit. First of all, it's National Chocolate Milk Day?
It's Chocolate Lovers Month in February.
That's every day. Every day is Chocolate Lovers Month.
Oh, yes.
So anyway, let's introduce yourself a little bit, and let's talk about something interesting about chocolate.
Sure. So I'm part of the team at New Barn Organics. We have organic dairy-free products made with nutrient-dense ingredients, no GMOs, and we're all about regenerative farming practices with all of our products as well. And like you said, it's February. It's National Chocolate Lovers Month. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so there's really never been a better time to enjoy some chocolate, I have a really great hot chocolate recipe to share with you today. It's my favorite hot chocolate recipe.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Perfect time
Yeah,
of
let's-
year.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a dairy-free recipe. It's vegan-friendly, but it's also totally customizable, so you can switch out your favorite ingredients as you like to. So I start with the New Barn Organics almond milk, or we do have a barista almond milk, which is a little bit richer in flavor, a little bit sweet, and it froths up really nicely for your coffee or for your hot chocolate. So I love to start with that in a saucepan on the stove, medium heat. And to make your hot chocolate really, really decadent, you want to be sure to use a little bit of cocoa powder as well as melted chocolate.
More chocolate.
So, yes, you got to have two kinds of chocolate in there. So a nice quality cocoa powder, a couple tablespoons of that. If you want to sweeten it up with some sugar, a couple tablespoons of that. And then I like to use dark chocolate chips. If you prefer semi-sweet, you can use that, or your favorite chocolate bar. If you like flavored chocolate, that can go in here. However you want to customize it. I love dark chocolate chips. And everything just goes in a saucepan. You want to whisk it up as the chocolate is melting. Keep whisking it. You don't want to leave it alone for too long. You don't want the chocolate to settle at the bottom. You want it to get nice and combined and blended. And this is ready to go in just about 10 minutes. And it's a really, really decadent treat. You can serve it with marshmallows on top. You can do whipped cream.
Izzy's
however you
smiling.
like it.
Izzy's having a food orgasm and she's smiling at the same time. She loves
Well,
marshmallows.
you'll have to try this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is time of year where it's nice and cold outside, so nice steaming hot cocoa in your hand. It's like awesome. Just warm your souls up.
Exactly. We're in the dog days of winter, so what's better than, just something nice to warm up with and get a little cozy, right?
There actually is something better. It's also healthy for you, chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you know what? Chocolate has been known for its health benefits throughout history, particularly dark chocolate. A bar of dark chocolate, if it's 70% or higher, this is actually a great source of fiber. A lot of people don't get enough fiber each day, so reach for some dark chocolate.
Oh, boy.
To get your fiber in. It's also a good source of iron and magnesium. And I'm sure you've heard there are tons of antioxidants in dark chocolate especially. So there's all kinds of reasons to be sipping on some dark chocolate.
Well, let's talk a little bit about New Barn Organics. They make the almond milk. You said the barista one. That's probably what I had the first was the barista one. I couldn't figure out what it was, but it was a lot more richer. I didn't put it on coffee, but I just like, wow, that's really hit. It was really good. And then
You did make smoothies with it.
I made smoothies with that. It was so good. But also your regular almond milk. Again, I live on almond milk. Everything I have is pretty much low carb, especially with I love almond milk. But this one, for some reason, it came out. It was colder. It was a lot more refreshing. And I did a wow with it. It was like, wow, this is really, really good. And I ran to the other room around the house. Izzy, you got to try this. You got to try it. And what makes, so far, how long has the company been there and what makes their product so different?
Sure. Well, we started in 2015, and we had a vision of creating dairy-free essentials. Like you said, it's great for smoothies. It's great for hot chocolate. It's great for coffee. It has so many different uses. Almond milk is a staple in my house, too. Cereal, everything. So we wanted to create these essential refrigerator staples, but we wanted it to be simple. We wanted to use really high quality, nutrient dense ingredients and to just keep it simple. No extra additives, no fillers, just natural ingredients and very simple recipes.
And good.
So that's kind of how it started.
Right. And when I make pancakes for Izzy or anything I do that needs milk, I always substitute it with almond milk because if you're lactose intolerant, milk's a no-no. But with almond milk, you can make ice cream out of it. You can do anything you want with it. I mean, anything you use milk for, you can pretty much substitute that.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. It's a perfect replacement for regular milk, a perfect alternative. And here at New Barn Organics, we really get into the regenerative organic farming, which is better for the earth as well. So regenerative farming it's really like it gives back to the soil health quite a bit. It helps reduce the carbon footprint, and overall just creates a much better for you food because there are no GMOs, there are no synthetic pesticides, and it's all organic.
Right. You're listening to the Let's Sign Out show right here on AM 1050, the Express, FM 106.5, the station that no listeners behind. And with us is Sasha Boronsky, and she's from New Barn Organics. The website is newbarnorganics.com, and you can get these products at, let's see, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Bristol Farms, a lot of independent markets, and it's just a fantastic product. And are there any new products that they're coming out with that you can tell us about?
Sure. So we've got our dairy-free milk. We also have in select Whole Food stores. I don't think they've made it to Southern California yet, but we're on our way, and we're in some Whole Food stores with our regenerative organic certified eggs.
Oh, wow.
So again, high standards of animal welfare. The chickens have plenty of space to roam around and express their natural behaviors. They're really high quality eggs.
Happy chickens make happy eggs, right?
Exactly.
Same thing with cows.
That's
Happy cows make happy milk. So
that's right.
That's great. So they're coming out with that's good. So again, it's newbarnorganics.com, and I just highly recommend it. And Izzy, I know you really like the products too, and you're a big fan of almond milk. It doesn't bother your stomach. Mm-hmm. You can have it with coffee. You have it all over with everything.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, that's the milk I go to, really. I think because it's less carbs, it's just healthier for you, and I like the taste better. It's more a neutral taste, like it doesn't have a flavor behind it.
But you can add flavors to it. That's
definitely, yeah. But I like, just if I want coffee, I want to, if I want to put a flavor, I want to pick that flavor. I want somebody predetermine that flavor for me. So I like it as, to mix it with my coffee because I have one every morning. So it's a perfect addition to the house. Definitely have a staple in the fridge.
Right. So again, it's New Barn, BARN, organics.com, newbarnorganics.com. Sasha, thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to have you on again talking about more products that your company deals with and that we want to turn people on to.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, you take care. Be well.
You too.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Oh, what a great way to leave the nice show. I know it could have been a downer.
KCAA Radio.
This segment